हेलो दोस्तों। अब सेकंड टर्म आ रहा है तो हम सोशियोलॉजी की कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें आपसे डिस्कस करेंगे जो इम्पोर्टेंट है
आगामी परीक्षाओं के लिए।
आगे अपनी परीक्षाओं के लिए। आइए बने रहिए मेरे साथ। Define a social structure. A sociologist understands a social structure as a continuing arrangement of a person in a relationship defined or controlled by institution.
लोगों का रिलेशनशिप है जिसके लिए सामान्य नियम कानून का
तो लोगों का
रिलेशनशिप
रिलेशनशिप है
है जो कि एक कायदे से बंधे
जो कि एक कायदे से बंधे हुए हैं। इंस्टीट्यूशनल। What is structure?
हुए। व्हाट इज कल्चर?
What is culture? It was widely seen as a web of interaction which are both regular and recurrent, referred to a knowledge, beliefs, arts, moral laws, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by man and the member of society. Categories the culture change in a colonial India. The elaborate upon the modern construct by sketching framework of changing in a colonial India. Mode of communication, form of organization, the nature of idea. What is MN Srinivas mean by Sanskritization and desanskritization? According to MN Srinivas, the Sanskritization is a process by which a member of lower caste try to emulate the upper caste in a term of costumes and traditions, ideology and lifestyle, but in a religious where non sanitized lower caste in a rural area becomes dominant and influence the Sanskrit upper caste. The caste is a process is called Sanskritization. What does term modernization means? A modernization is a multi-dimensional process that gives a new meaning to life. People in all walking of life economically, politically, socially, and culturally. What is the meaning of secularism in a Western context? In a Western society, secularism, as usually, has been defined as a process of decline in the influence of religious progressive retreat of religion from public life as it was converted from monetary to personal practices. What is dominant caste? Dominant caste is a caste that owns a large part of agricultural land in region as a large number of members and enjoy a high status in the locality. What do you mean by cultural diversity? A cultural diversity is a presence within a large national, regional, or context of a various different type of a culture communities such as defined by language, region, etc., and visual in multiplicity or plurality of identities. What do you understand by term modernization? The change brought out in Indian society and as a result over 150 years of rules. State a main corners of 19th century social reforms. The main corner of the 19th century social reforms was to be eradicate the evils that were present in Hindu society. They fought against sati, casteism, widow remarriage, child marriage, and etc. Discuss a social reforms movement in 19th and 20th century. The social reforms movement in which emerged in 19th century arose to challenge that colonial India society faced the well-known social evils that plagued Indian society were satis, child marriage, widow remarriage, and caste discrimination. In the pre-colonial India's, the effort of a fight social discrimination was a center of Buddhism to Bhakti and Sufi movement that marked these 19th century and social reforms movement where the modern construct and mix of idea it was a creative combination of a modern idea of western liberalization and new look of traditional literature. How new technologies speed by various form of communication, a printing press, telegraph, and a letter, the microphones, movement, people, and good thought streamship and railway help quick movement of new idea. Within India, social reforms from Punjab and Bengal exchange idea in reform of Madras and Maharashtra. Keshav Chandra scenes by Bengal visited Madras in 1864. Pandit Ramanand traveled to different corners of a country, some of them to other countries. ठीक है, लिखा है, Christian missionaries reach remote corner of present-day Nagaland, Mizoram, and Meghalaya. State a modern social organization. The Brahma Samaj was set up in Bengal and Arya Samaj was set up in Punjab. The All India Muslims Ladies Conference Anju, Anjumal-e-Islam was founded in 1914. The India reforms debate on not just in a public meeting but through a public meeting but through public media like newspaper and journals. The translation of writing of social reforms from one Indian India language to another took place. For example, Vishnu Shastri published a Marathi translation of Vidyasagar in Indu Paraksh in 1868. What is known as westernization? The process of adopting the values of a West which brings about change in a cultural and a social structure. The some sociologists restricted homogenizations to the cultural aspect only while other brought out the structural aspect some studies as associated modernization with a political while others have analyzed in psychological meaning. The concept of modernization is repeat to scientific values is not restricted to a society or cultural modernization as many dimensional. It can be seen as various levels such as individual, group of entire society and modernization is a sort of process of change social economic and political system. Example, the meaning of secularism.
Secularization
Secularization means a social attitude that
endeavor.
endeavors to bring in a more logic and rationality in matters of faith religion. It implies a process of distinction that highlights the separateness of a different aspect of society. In India, society secularization has been defined by equal in the eye of law formulating and implement policy. The government will also not allow any persons, institution, or community to adopt such based policies. Impact of secularization in India. The occupations are not adopted on the basis of caste, regions, or pollution or purity. The criteria of choosing a profession has changed just on other thing has changed in a term of lifestyle and marriage etc. The impact of religious domains instead of setting or hours doing worship. Now people says their prayers while doing their jobs instead to going to religious place. They can listen a religious discourse on the television channels instead of giving aim alms to pundits and priests. They refers to a donate money to charitable institutions that are doing social welfare work. Thank you.